Okay, so we got a lot of feedback from you guys on this topic, and a bunch of you sent in this article about making money without investment.
This is a popular one.
I know, it's so interesting. And you know what? When I first looked at it, I was like, how is this even possible? Can you really make money without putting any money in?
Yes, it's clickbait.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But then we did a bunch more research, looked at your notes, looked at some other stuff.
Absolutely.
And I got to say, I'm kind of convinced.
I knew him too.
So we're going to deep dive into this today and figure out if it's for real.
I mean, it is possible.
Okay, so first of all, how do we even define making money without investment?
That's a great question.
Because obviously we have to put in some effort, right?
I think the key here is no upfront capital.
Okay.
So we're not talking about, investing in stocks or real estate or
starting
in a huge loan, right?
Exactly.
We're talking about utilizing your skills, your time, your resources, things you already have.
Got it.
To generate income.
Okay.
Without that initial good cash outlay.
What kinds of things are we talking about?
Well, the article actually covers a pretty wide range.
Okay.
So everything from selling things you don't need.
Oh, like that old guitar in the attic.
Exactly. Like that old guitar in the attic or clothes you don't wear anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To freelancing. Offering services online.
So using your skills.
Yeah. And even things like participating in surveys or market research.
Wait, people get paid for that?
They do.
I'm skeptical but intrigued.
I know, right?
Okay, so let's break down some of these categories and see what's actually realistic.
Let's get into it.
So first up, selling unused stuff.
Okay.
Everyone's got a junk drawer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Or a closet full of clothes they never wear.
I know I do.
But is it really worth the effort to try and sell all that?
Well, it depends, right? I mean, some things might be more valuable than others.
Right.
But the article makes a good point.
What's that?
It's all about decluttering and turning clutter into cash.
I like that.
So even if you only make a few bucks on each item, it can add up.
Especially if you have a whole house full of stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, so where do you even start with this?
Well, there are a lot of different platforms these days.
Like what?
You've got your classic online marketplaces.
Like eBay.
Like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist.
Okay, yeah, those are familiar.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
But there are also these newer apps
that
focus on specific categories.
So like if you're selling clothes, there's an app for that.
Exactly. Like Poshmark or Depop.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're popular.
And what about for like...
And then there are apps like Declutch.
Okay.
Where you can sell your old phones and tech gadgets.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super convenient.
So it really depends on what you're selling.
Yeah.
And how much effort you want to put in.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to freelancing.
All right.
This is something I've always been curious about.
Yeah, it's a popular one.
But I have to admit, I'm a little intimidated.
I understand that.
Like, do you really need to be like a super expert to make money freelancing?
I think that's a common misconception.
Okay.
You don't necessarily need to be the world-leading authority on something to offer your services.
Yeah. So what kinds of skills
think about
are in demand?
What are you good at? Good question.
What do people often ask you for help with?
Okay. That's a good way to think about it.
Because chances are...
those skills are marketable.
So like if I'm good at organizing or writing...
You're a good writer.
Yeah.
There's a huge demand for that.
Okay.
Websites need content.
Yeah.
Businesses need marketing materials.
That's true.
People need help with their resumes and cover letters.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
And if you're organized, maybe you could be a virtual assistant.
Oh, virtual assistants. I've heard of that.
They're in high demand.
So what exactly do they do?
Basically, they help people with all sorts of administrative tasks, like managing emails, scheduling appointments, booking travel, even social media management.
Oh, wow. So you can really specialize in a specific area?
Yeah.
Okay. This is starting to make more sense.
Good.
So if I want to try freelancing, where do I even begin?
Well, there are tons of platforms out there.
Give me some examples.
Upwork and Fiverr are probably the most well-known.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Yeah, they're like the giants in the industry.
But they seem pretty competitive.
They can be.
Yeah.
But there are also more niche platforms that cater to specific skills.
So, if I'm a graphic designer.
Exactly. 99 Designs is a great one for that.
And for writers.
ProBlogger or Contently are good options.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture.
Yeah.
So it's about finding the right platform for your skills and building a strong profile.
Exactly. And showcasing your work.
Got it.
That's key.
All right, let's move on to surveys and market research.
Okay.
I got to be honest.
Yeah.
This one sounds a little too good to be true.
I know, right?
Like getting paid to just give my opinion.
Sharing your thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, how much money can you really make from that?
Exactly.
Well, maybe not quit your job money, but it can be a decent side hustle.
So some extra cash.
Yeah, some extra cash.
For a rainy day.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm listening.
So the idea is that companies, they really value consumer feedback.
That makes sense.
They want to know what people think about their products, their services, their marketing campaigns.
So they're willing to pay for that information.
Because it helps them make better decisions.
So how does this actually work?
Well, there are a couple of ways to go about it.
Okay.
You've got your classic paid survey sites.
Like what?
Like Swagbucks, Survey Junkie, Inbox Dollars, things like that.
Yeah, I've seen those ads.
You sign up, you fill out surveys, you earn points or cash.
Sounds easy enough.
It is relatively easy.
And is it worth the time?
That's where it gets tricky. Yeah. Some of these sites, they pay very little.
So you could spend hours and only make a few cents.
Right. So you have to be selective.
Okay.
Look for sites with good reputations.
Okay.
Clear payout rates. And surveys that actually interest you.
So if I'm a tech geek, I should be looking for surveys about gadgets.
Exactly.
Not about
baby food or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's paid surveys.
Right.
What's the other option?
The other option is market research studies.
What are those?
These are usually more in-depth than surveys.
Oh,
you might be asked to participate in a focus group.
Okay.
Or do a one-on-one interview.
And they pay you for that.
They do.
How much?
It varies, but it's usually more than surveys.
Because you're giving more of your time and insights.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So there are platforms that connect you with these studies.
Like what?
User interviews, Respondent. Those are a couple of popular ones.
Okay, I'll have to check those out.
Yeah, they're worth looking into.
Okay, so we've got selling stuff, freelancing, surveys. What other methods are out there?
Well, the article goes into a few more, and I think those are worth exploring.
Let's do it. Right. But we're running a little short on time for this segment.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to pick up on those part 2.
Sounds good.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
All right, so we were looking at all these different ways to make money without investment.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think what surprised me most was how much this article emphasized mindset.
Oh, interesting. Like how you approach it.
Exactly. It's not just about the tactics.
Okay.
It's about shifting your perspective.
So like instead of seeing limitations, you see opportunities.
Yeah. Like instead of thinking, I don't have money to invest, you think, what resources do I have?
That's powerful. I like that.
And I think that's what unlocks a lot of these methods.
Okay, so let's talk about some specific examples.
Let's do it.
We left off talking about surveys and market research.
Right, which a lot of people might think is like, oh, that's just pennies.
Right. Is it really worth the time? It can be, but like we said, you got to be strategic.
So how do you actually make this work?
The article had some good tips.
Like what?
First, specialize.
Okay.
If you're into tech, look for tech surveys.
So don't waste time on stuff you don't care about.
Exactly. You'll be more engaged and probably give better answers.
Makes sense.
Second, look for higher paying platforms.
Okay, are there any names mentioned in the article?
Yeah, they mentioned Respondent and user interviews.
Those ring a bell.
Those are more for in-depth feedback, like focus groups or one-on-one interviews.
So it's not just those quick multiple choice surveys.
Right. You're actually sharing your expertise, which is valuable.
I'm starting to see the appeal.
And the payouts can be significantly higher.
Okay, that's good to know.
Another tip is to set realistic expectations.
Right. This isn't going to replace your day job.
Exactly. It's more like a side hustle, maybe $100 here and there.
But hey, extra cash is always welcome.
Always. And it can be kind of fun, you know?
Yeah, if you're into sharing your opinions.
Exactly. Some people love that stuff.
Okay, let's move on to something I'm personally interested in.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Affiliate marketing.
Ah, yes. This one has a lot of potential.
But I'll be honest, I always thought it was kind of sleazy.
I get that.
Like just spamming links everywhere.
Yeah, right. It definitely has that reputation.
So how do you do it ethically?
Well, the article had a whole section on
That's okay, good, because I'm curious.
The key is authenticity.
Okay, so like...
You have to actually believe in the products you're promoting.
Got it.
And it should tie into your existing interests or expertise.
So if I'm like a fitness junkie,
yeah,
I could promote workout gear.
Exactly. Or if you're a foodie, you could promote kitchen gadgets.
And it wouldn't feel forced.
Right. It's all about genuine recommendations.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And the article also stressed the importance of building a platform.
What do you mean?
Like a website, blog, social media following, something like that.
So you're not just randomly posting links?
No, you're providing value.
Okay, so it's more about content creation.
Exactly. You're building trust with your audience.
And then the affiliate links are kind of a natural extension of that.
Yeah. It's like, hey, if you're interested in this, here's a product I recommend. But it takes time.
Right. You have to build that audience first.
Yeah. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Okay, so patience is key.
Definitely.
All right. What else did the article cover?
Well, we haven't talked about the gig economy yet.
Oh, yeah. Like Uber and stuff.
Exactly. Ride sharing, delivery services, all those on-demand platforms.
That's a whole other world.
It is. And it's definitely changed the way people work.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's doing some kind of side hustle these days.
Right. And the appeal is obvious.
Flexible hours.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own boss.
Exactly. And you can often set your own rates.
Okay, but isn't it like just trading time for money?
It can be, but there are ways to be strategic about it.
Like what?
Well, for ride sharing, the article mentioned focusing on peak hours.
So like rush hour and weekends.
Exactly. That's when demand is highest, so you can potentially earn more.
Makes sense.
And for delivery services, knowing your city well can be an advantage.
Oh, so you can optimize your routes and avoid traffic.
Exactly. And some platforms let you schedule deliveries in advance.
So you can plan your day around your other commitments.
Yeah. It's all about maximizing efficiency.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this gig economy thing works.
It's definitely a different way of thinking about work.
All right, what about content creation? That seems to be the big one these days.
Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber or TikTok star.
But is it realistic to actually make money from that?
It definitely is. But it takes a lot of work.
I can imagine.
The article stressed the importance of finding your niche.
Okay, so like, what are you passionate about?
Exactly. What can you talk about for hours?
And then you build an audience around that.
Yeah. And once you have an audience, there are different ways to monetize.
Like what?
Ads are the most obvious, but there's also brand sponsorships.
Oh, like those influencer deals you see on Instagram.
Exactly. And you can even sell your own merchandise.
So like if you're a gaming YouTuber, you could sell t-shirts or mugs with your logo on them.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless, really.
Okay, this is starting to get my creative juices flowing.
Good. Because I think the biggest takeaway from all this is
What's that?
You have more potential than you realize.
I like that.
Don't underestimate your skills, your passions, even your junk drawer.
So it's about seeing the value in the everyday.
Exactly.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one more method I want to touch on before we wrap up.
Okay, what's that?
Referral programs.
Oh, yeah. Those can be an easy way to make some extra cash.
I've definitely used those before.
I do. It's like, why not get rewarded for recommending something you already love?
Right. Like if I'm constantly raving about a certain coffee shop,
yeah,
why not get a little kickback for spreading the word?
Exactly. And a lot of companies have them these days. Well, banks often have referral bonuses for opening accounts. Yeah. And cashback apps like Rakuten and Ibotta are all about referrals.
So it's like built into the system.
Yeah. And it's pretty passive, which is nice.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to those.
Good, because they can really add up.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Selling stuff, freelancing, surveys, affiliate marketing, the gig economy.
Content creation.
It's clear that there are tons of ways to make money without investment.
Absolutely.
But it's not about being lazy or expecting handouts.
No, it's about being resourceful.
Right. Like using what you already have to create opportunities.
Exactly.
Okay. Before we move on to the final part of this deep dive,
okay,
I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
I'm all ears.
What's one skill or asset you have that you could potentially turn into income using one of the methods we've talked about today?
That's a great question.
Keep that in mind as we head into part 3.
Oh.
We've talked about all these different ways to make money without investment.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, out of all of them,
yeah,
what stood out to you the most?
You know what really struck me was the emphasis on creativity.
Oh, interesting.
Like, even with something like selling unused stuff,
Yeah.
it's not just about getting rid of junk. It's about presenting it well, taking good photos, writing compelling descriptions.
So it's almost like you're creating a little mini business.
Exactly. You're a marketer.
And that goes for a lot of these methods, right?
Absolutely. Whether you're freelancing,
Yeah.
building a YouTube channel, offering local services.
It's all about putting yourself out there.
And showcasing your skills.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people might be listening thinking,
right.
Oh, that sounds great, but I'm not creative.
I hear that.
So what would you say to them?
I'd say, first of all,
Yeah.
everyone is creative in their own way.
Okay. Maybe you're not a painter or a musician,
Right.
but maybe you're really good at organizing or problem solving.
They're coming up with clever solutions.
Exactly. Those are all forms of creativity.
So it's about recognizing those strengths.
And finding a way to apply them.
And the article gives some good examples of that, right?
Absolutely. Like with the woman who turned her passion for knitting into a successful Etsy shop.
Oh, right. She was making those adorable baby hats.
Exactly. She wasn't necessarily an artistic genius, but she had a skill.
Yeah.
She had passion. And she found a way to share it with the world.
I love that story.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
Okay, so let's say someone is listening and they're feeling inspired.
Yeah.
They want to try one of these methods.
Good.
What's the first step they should take?
Well, I'd say start by brainstorming.
Okay.
What are you good at?
So that self-assessment we talked about earlier, exactly what are you passionate about?
And then what?
And then do some research.
Okay.
Look into the different platforms, resources, communities that can help you get started.
So like if you're interested in freelancing, check out Upwork or Fiverr.
Exactly. Or if you're thinking about creating a YouTube channel, start watching other YouTubers in your niche.
Got it.
Learn from their strategies.
Okay, so it's all about taking that first step.
Absolutely. And then being consistent.
Because none of this happens overnight.
Right. No. It takes time, effort, dedication.
But the rewards can be worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
So to wrap things up, what's the one message we want our listeners to take away from this episode?
I think it's this.
Okay.
You have the power to create your own opportunities.
I love that.
Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone to hand you a job.
Right. Take control of your own destiny.
Exactly. You have skills.
Yeah.
You have talents. You have resources.
Okay.
Use them.
So go out there, explore those possibilities, and see what you can achieve.
We believe in you.
All right, that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll catch you next time.